What is going on, my people? We are finally back again, bro. Hope everyone's doing absolutely fantastic. You've done already. Family Gal's favorite is back again, bro. Here to preview everything that there is to preview for Matchday 35 in the Premier League. We're also going to very briefly review some of the stuff that went down during Matchday 34, as well as some of the stuff that went down during the midweek. We got some cracking fixtures this weekend, bro. We have Arsenal going up to St. James Park to take on Newcastle. We got Man United, who will be facing West Ham. Should be a really good fixture. And we also have Tottenham facing Crystal Palace and much more. If any of that stuff does interest you, fam, stick around. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend, and let's get it cracking, bro. So Matchday 35 does of course kick off this Saturday, May 6th at the Vitality Stadium when Bournemouth take on Chelsea. Bournemouth, they done well in their last game, beating Leeds United, I believe, 4-1 during Matchday 34. And as for Chelsea, they done poorly in Matchday 34 and losing 2-0 to Brentford. And in the midweek, fam, they took on Arsenal, and they were absolutely shambolic. That was easily their worst performance of this season. I think it's absolutely mind-blowing how on paper they have a good squad, but for whatever reason, they're just not performing, fam. Like, none of them. This might be a tough game. I don't know. I think the fact that Chelsea scored in their last game might give them some ounce of confidence, just ever so slightly. They might get a draw out of this game, but Bournemouth are my favorites, fam. Solanke, as well as Billing, they are extraordinary players on this Bournemouth side. So with that being said, as mentioned, I do think Chelsea can possibly get a draw out of this. And that's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I can even see a 0-0 draw, but I'll go 1-1 draw. We then head over to league leaders Manchester City, who will be taking on Leeds United. Manchester City during Matchday 34 did okay against Fulham, fam. Julian Alvarez with an absolutely sick goal, bro. A goal that pretty much won Manchester City the game. And in the midweek, fam, they took on West Ham. They also done well in that game. They won them 3-0, fam. Erling Haaland, bro. Record goal scorer, bro. The most goals in a single Premier League season, fam. This guy is absolutely inevitable for his age, bro, and for this being his first season, fam. I can't even imagine what he's gonna do in the future for Man City. It's absolutely unreal, bro. And as for Leeds United, I already mentioned they didn't turn up in the last game. They lost 4-1. Yeah, Manchester City, I don't see them dropping points within the next few games. Maybe Leeds United get a point out of them. I know they got Big Sam, so that might be a talk. I know that is a talking point. So maybe the best that Leeds United can get out of this game is a draw. But I think City, they'll get the job done. They will get the 3 points. In my opinion, I'm going to go for a 4-1 win for Manchester City. We then head over to the Molineux Stadium where Wolves will be taking on Aston Villa. Wolves got absolutely cooked in their last game against Brighton, bro, losing 6-0. And then as for Aston Villa, fam, they just couldn't turn up in their last game, fam. They couldn't really get into the game, losing 1-0 to Man United. Very unfortunate result, because I think had they turned up, maybe get a draw out of that game, but they just really couldn't get into the game. It was very unfortunate. This should be a close game considering that this is a classic match, classic encounter between these two. I do favor Aston Villa going to this game. But again, like I mentioned, it should be a close one, fam. Going up to the Molineux Stadium is never the easiest of tasks. So with that being said, as much as I do feel this will probably be a close game, I do feel that Aston Villa will most likely come out on top. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win for Aston Villa. We then head over to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium where Tottenham will be taking on Crystal Palace. Tottenham, they absolutely balled their last game against Liverpool. What a fantastic game that was, though. It had absolutely everything, including spectacular goals. Richarlison, it looked like he had gotten the goal that would, help Spurs get a point out of that game, but it wasn't, fam. Diogo Jota, or Lucas, gives away the ball. Diogo Jota, last touch of the game, wins it for Liverpool, bro. This game had absolutely everything, bro. I'm telling you, had to be there. And as for Crystal Palace, they done pretty well against West Ham, fam, winning them 4-3. Yeah, I think West Ham might have gotten something out of this game had they not let in so many goals so early on. That was really the thing that let them down. But Yeah, I really do feel this should be a leveled game. I do favor Crystal Palace going into this game and getting something. I kind of feel they might fall short, but they should go into this game with confidence, fam. They can definitely get 3 points off of Tottenham Hotspur, but it's not going to be easy. But I do have faith in Crystal Palace doing something. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for Palace. If Spurs get something out of this game, they can get a win, but I think the best result that they might get is a draw, to be honest. We then have Liverpool taking on Brentford at Anfield, fam. Liverpool, they done all right in their last game against Spurs. At one point, it looked like Liverpool had bottled the game for themselves because they started on the front foot, but they let Spurs back into the game. I was like, oh my days, fam, how? And then Spurs ended up bottling the game, fam. You know, like that. I think it was like a 30-second turnaround. Diogo Jota or Lucas gives away the ball. Diogo Jota wins the game for them. Yeah, absolutely insane, bro. But Liverpool, as of right now, they are in pretty good form. They might have a chance of getting the champions. They still might have a chance of getting to the top 4. But Europa League, they are definitely pushing for that, fam, without a doubt. And as for Brentford, they've done well in their last game, winning 2-0. But I don't know. I kind of feel Ivan Toney might get locked off in this game. That's just me. I'm not sure. I know Anfield is always a tough place to go. I mentioned this before. Anfield, for me, is the toughest ground to go to in the Premier League. So I do struggle to see Brentford even getting a point out of this game, to be honest. So with that being said, I am going to go for a 2-0 win for Liverpool in this game. I don't even think Brentford will score, if I'm being honest. If they do, it would be amazing, but I don't know. I don't see them turning up, to be honest. Heading into Sunday, we head over to St. James Park, where Newcastle will be taking on Arsenal. Newcastle, they've done well in their last game against Southampton, beating them 3-1. And Arsenal, they also done well in their last game against Chelsea, beating them 3-1 as well. Odegaard had a great game, scoring himself a brace. Yeah, this should be a really difficult game for both sides, and for very different reasons. Newcastle, they want to stay in that conversation for top 4, and Arsenal, they still want a shot at potentially winning the Premier League. Newcastle, Callum Wilson, Isak, they're in great form, doing some great things. And then Arsenal, they're barely getting on the bounce back, but I think that last game against Chelsea, winning that game against Chelsea, that'll definitely give them some confidence going into this game. And this is going to be a massive game for Arsenal, bro, more than anything, because for me, if they don't win this game, if they get anything less than a win, I think it most likely is over. A draw, they still kind of are in the conversation, but it is going to feel like a loss if they draw. I struggle to say who can win this game, because I think it really is for both sides. And I say that a lot, but this game genuinely is for both sides. So with that being said, as mentioned already, this is going to be a very close game, and I do feel this is most likely going to be the game of this week, and it's going to be the match to watch. And yeah, I do feel it's going to be for either side. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. And honestly, if I had to pick one to come out on top, I kind of feel it'll be Newcastle. I remember how Arsenal did last season, fam. They didn't turn up in this game, so Newcastle are my favorites to potentially win this game, but I stand by a 2-2 draw in this game. We then head over to the London Stadium, where West Ham will be taking on Manchester United. West Ham, they definitely slipped up during Matchday 34 when they took on Crystal Palace. They conceded way too many goals. And in the midweek when they took on Man City, they just couldn't get into the game, fam. They never had a clue, fam. Man City absolutely dominated that game. And as for Man United, fam, they scraped it during Matchday 34 when they played Aston Villa, winning them 1-0. Bruno Fernandes pretty much winning them the game. But in the midweek, fam, when they took on Brighton, it looked like it would end in a 0-0 draw, an absolute snooze fest. But in the 90+ minute, fam, Luke Shaw unfortunately commits a handball, and Brighton win the game, fam. McAllister penalty, brilliantly taken. Yeah, absolute dagger to the hearts of Man United players and fans. This is going to be a good game, fam. Man United, they haven't been playing well within the last couple of weeks. They've been scraping results. Yeah, this game is for kind of is for either side. Man United, for me, are slightly the favorites, but in West Ham, before their last game, they were in decent form as well. But anyways, as much as I do believe that Man United can come out on top in this game, I don't think they will. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for West Ham. Should be a close game, but yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for West Ham. We then head over to Craven Cottage, where Fulham will be taking on Leicester City. Fulham, they lost 1-0 in their last game against Liverpool at Anfield, fam. A Mo Salah penalty pretty much won in the game. It was an absolute snooze fest though, and I can't lie, I'm kind of unsure of whether it was a penalty or not. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, because for me, it kind of looked like Darwin Núñez just dumped himself over. Like, it kind of looked like that. I couldn't really tell, fam, but be what it be, fam. This is the Premier League. Premier League is full of, you know, controversial decisions. That's really how it be, fam. And as for Leicester City, they drew 2-2 in their last game against Everton. Very foolish of them to, you know, let Everton get back into the game. And especially that Calvert-Lewin penalty, fam. Very sloppy from them. They should have won this game, fam. Had Leicester City shown a bit more quality, just a little bit, they would have won this game and got the 3 points easily. This should definitely be a very close game. I know Leicester City's form away from home isn't the best. Well, if we're being honest, whether it's home or away, they're not very good in general. They're very inconsistent. Fulham are definitely my favorites going into this game. But again, I think it's going to be very close. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in this game. We then head over to the Amex Stadium, where Brighton will be taking on Everton. And Brighton, not only did they pump Wolves during Matchday 34, beating them 6-0, they also, fam, got a win against Man United, as mentioned already, during the midweek. McAllister winning the game for them on a penalty. And then as for Everton, I don't know where they go from here. They've been absolutely terrible all season long, and they're just absolutely desperate to at least get a point out of their games. And it'd be awesome if they can get 3 points, but for them to at least get a point, I mean, that's better than nothing, fam. I don't know if Everton can get something out of this game. Brighton, for me, for obvious reasons, are my favorites, but yeah, fam, maybe a miracle comes out of this game. With that being said, as much as Brighton are my favorites, believe it or not, I'm going to go for a 0-0 draw. It is, at least for me, I think it is kind of unlikely. I really do feel it is, but I am considering Brighton's last game against Man United, and they didn't play that well, fam. That was a much bigger opponent. That's no disrespect to Everton, but yeah, I'm going to go for a 0-0 draw. The last and final fixture to conclude Matchday 35 in the Premier League is, of course, Nottingham Forest taking on Southampton. Nottingham Forest, they, of course, lost their last game against Brentford 2-1. And as for Southampton, they lost to Newcastle 3-1. Southampton is also another one of those teams that, like Everton, are very desperate for points, fam. So this might make this an interesting one. Nottingham Forest, for me, are my favorites to get something out of this game. I think they can definitely get 3 points out of this game. But as mentioned already, Southampton, they're going to try to come into this game with everything. But I'm not like completely convinced they will get a point out of this game. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for Nottingham Forest. But anyways, fam, I hope you lot did enjoy. If you did, like always, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend. Let me know in the comments down below what match you're looking forward to the most, what player is going to play the best, what team is going to play the best during match day 35. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below about the stuff that went on during match day 34, as well as the midweek, fam. Yeah, this game is going to be very decisive for both Manchester City and Arsenal, two teams that need to get wins out of their games, fam. So it is going to be interesting this weekend, be a very defining week for the Premier League. The Premier League, fam, it is coming to the end. This is the final month, fam. So yeah, the games are coming thick and fast, but yeah, like always, I hope everyone's doing absolutely fantastic, and I'll see you guys soon.